When you think about the Joe Biden you saw in the debate, ask yourself a question. Do you think the guy who was defeated by the stairs, got taken down by his bike, lost a fight with his jacket, and regularly gets lost, makes it 4 more years in the White House? And you know who's waiting behind him, right? Vote Joe Biden today, hit Kamala Harris tomorrow.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. Gonna delete that one from my Rolodex because it doesn't matter anymore. Prophecy came true. Joseph Robinette Biden has stepped down from running for president in the good old year 2024. So we're gonna not get any more gems like these.
And intellectual rigor.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
Well, Senator, what a black job is. It's President of the United States.
So, black job, Vice President of the United States. Obviously, we'll see who that pick is. I know, Jason, I put out a video. I have literally described to you how it's not possible, and it would take constitutional challenges in the Supreme Court to even attempt that. It's not going to be Hillary. It will not be Hillary Clinton. So we'll start off. For those of you who don't know, Joseph Robinette Biden has stepped down from running for the 2024 election. Kamala Harris has already received endorsement from the Obama administration, from Joe Biden. The Democrats know the rules, they know the laws, they know what's up, and it is going to be Kamala Harris. And they're already working on transferring everything and getting everything over there. It will be Kamala Harris. It is not going to be Gretchen. It is not going to be Obama's wife, husband, Mike. It's not going to be Hillary. It's not going to be Josh Shapiro. It's not going to be. It cannot, literally cannot. We're well far. The Clintons have endorsed her. Correct. Thanks, Ashley. This is done. It's going to be Kamala Harris. It is literally their only option. There is no other option. They have Dean Phillips. They have Kamala Harris. Those are the people that they get to pick from. So the possibility of all these names, it's not possible. It's literally not possible. It would take the most monumental of effort to get all 50 states to change election laws. And that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're not going to do it in 3 months. You're not going to do it in, whatever. It would be the most monumental undertaking in the history of the United States. That's why we have rules. That's why we have laws, and that's why we have abilities to follow both those rules and laws. And again, these are not friendly to the Democrat Party. There's a lot of conservative legislatures across the United States of America that would have to approve a change to 100-year-old election law. And that's not going to happen. Your nominee for the Democrats is going to be Kamala Harris, 100%. We already see the party coalesce around it. We've already seen all the pundits talking about it. Like your nominee is Kamala Harris. That is who your nominee is. That's who your nominee is going to be, and that is who it's going to be. Kamala's not going to pick Hillary Clinton as her VP. And I don't think Kamala, like, let's be serious about that. Like, Kamala's not winning. She's about as popular as genital herpes. Yeah, I mean, there's no chance. I mean, they're putting up. So a lot of this is discussion that we'll get into later, but there's a lot of powers at play here. It is going to be Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris will lose to Donald J. Trump. Could be Harris Newsom. But you have to think of it from when you're talking about these rising stars, when you're talking about Gretchen Whitmer, when you're talking about Josh Shapiro, when you're talking about, I mean, Hillary could be one of them because she doesn't have much left. But when you're talking about all these people, put yourself in their shoes, and you know the top of your ticket's going to be Kamala Harris. You know damn well that your fundraising's gone, your access and ability is gone, and you have a candidate that sucks, that people do not like at all. And you also have RFK in the race, like Nuclear says. So RFK is going to take away votes as well. So you have to, somebody with a political future that could wait 4 years and run and probably win. They're going to come in here, burn down their entire political image, and lose one that's already done. I mean, that would be the most asinine of moves for anybody. Like, you're gonna blow your brand, you're gonna blow your political image for what? To lose to Donald Trump in historic fashion? I mean, your candidate at the top of the ticket is terrible. Their goose is already cooked. Like, they made this bed with their party loyalty and their kind of gangster way of doing things. There is not another option. It is going to be Kamala Harris. I think it's going to be an unconventional running mate. You'll see somebody that's kind of centrist, middle, that's going to take the job, and I don't think that's going to be very many. If the option is waiting 4 years and winning, or throwing your weight behind this dumpster fire of a process, there's no way that anybody in good conscience is just going to be like, no, I'm going to burn down my entire career. I'm going to burn down everything I built just so I can get my ass kicked by Donald Trump. So, that's another thing that you have to take into account. Like, there's nobody that's going to do that. None of these front runners, and that's why even if you usurp the process, you can get somebody in. You go to the Supreme Court, you get election laws overturned in all 50 states by some that are heavily Republican. I'm sure South Dakota is going to jump right on that. Alabama, Florida, I'm sure they're going to just approve it so Trump can get beat. Texas, I'm sure Texas is going to vote on it and, overturn their century-old election law just because they want somebody to run against Trump. I mean, that, like, you have to think outside of the talking points. Like, nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to do that at all. And it would be all of them. It would be every single state that you would have to overturn. Every single state. Like, just think of the process, of the monumental process that it would take. There's no way. There's no way. Kamala Harris is going to be the nominee. You're going to get an unconventional running mate. I could see even somebody like Dean Phillips, who's another one that's registered to run for president, accepting the VP spot. But you're not going to have your big names. You're not going to have Michelle or Hillary or any of those that are going to go into a losing effort. These people worked their entire life to build their political image. They're not going to throw it away. So that's my take on that. It is, your nominee is Kamala Harris, and that is clear and evident in the hour since this statement has been released by the Biden campaign. We already see all the major players behind Kamala Harris. We already see endorsements of Kamala Harris. We already see the Obamas, the Clintons, the political, quote, royalty, Pelosi, Schumer. They're all behind Kamala Harris. It's Kamala. I understand it's the Democrats, but I mean, explain to me how, again, they're going to flip all 50 state legislatures to change centuries-old election laws and put a candidate up that has 3 months to run a campaign. Like, it's so impractical that I am saying unequivocally here, it will not happen. It will not happen. Your nominee for the Democrats is going to be Kamala Harris. And I would actually think that we heard grumblings about the roll call vote to nominate Joe Biden prior to the convention, doing a virtual roll call. I would not be shocked at all if you see a coalesce and they nominate Kamala Harris this week. I would not be shocked if you see the same thing from the party loyalists that come together, nominate Kamala Harris, get it all done and dusted, and it's all smooth sailing from there with the convention. 3 months, it's already over for campaigning, basically. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do in 3 months. It takes a year to set up an exploratory committee to run for a local office, for fuck's sake. Like, it's not, you can't just come up to speed in 3 months. Like, it is a massive undertaking where you have to get operations on the ground ready. You have to get all these door knockers. You have to get the ballot harvesters. You have to get television spots. Like, it is such a massive undertaking. That's why it's a 2-year process. It's not designed, intended, or able to be done in 3 months. That's why we've never seen it before, and we will never see it ever. Your nominee is Kamala Harris. And the only reason it's Kamala Harris is because she's there. She gets to take over the operations and committees and platform committees and all the volunteer work, all the money, all the funding. All that transfers to Kamala Harris with the endorsement, with the nomination process. That's why I think it will get done this week via virtual roll call. It's just MSNBC, when I was just going live, said that the Obama administration had endorsed Kamala Harris. So yeah, same person that's in control of the White House. That, like, I mean, you also have to think of the fact that Joe Biden wasn't running the show anyways, or likely wasn't running the show anyways. So whatever apparatus has been running the Biden campaign is just going to switch names on the front of it. Like, that's all that's going to happen, and it's going to be Kamala Harris. If you get into a different candidate, which there are none eligible except for Dean Phillips, I cannot say that enough, that are even semi-recognized names. If you get into that, then one, you're tied up in court for the entirety of your entire campaign. So we know court processes take forever. You would essentially be the entire campaign fighting in court. Hang on, I'm watching it. Oh shit. That wasn't the one from there. That was the one about Hayden. So I'll watch that one later. So I mean, you have to think of the time, you have to think of what's going on here, and I know they're not practical thinking people, but there's also only so much you can do in 3-4 months. So why does his signature say blues? I have no idea. I have zero idea. Yeah, I mean, fuck you, Twitter. Obama's third term is now. Yeah, and he'll probably get a fourth if Kamala Harris were to win. Again, I think that's hopefully not possible. We're going to see a lot coming out. There's going to be a lot coming out. And we'll see. Sweet. Thanks, Stinch. I'll go to that after this. So I wanted to read this. My fellow Americans, over the past year, let me start over. July 21st, 2024. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we've made great progress as a nation. Today, America is the strongest economy in the world. Lies. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our nation. Lies. And lowering prescription drug costs for seniors and expanding affordable health care to a record number of Americans. Lies. We provided critically needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African American woman to the Supreme Court, because DEI is important, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It's been the greatest honor of my life to serve as president, and while it's been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have. There's nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. Line our blues. So that's your statement, official statement from Biden. There was a follow-up. Obviously, they endorsed Kamala Harris. So we're supposed to get some kind of speech or election or, something, speech on the election coming up near the end of the week. One of the things that he's been very excited about is meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, which takes place on Wednesday. So let's go to rebuttal statement from Donald J. Trump. Posted over on Truth. Crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president, and he's certainly not fit to serve, and never was. He only attained the position of president by lies, fake news, and not leaving his basement. All those around him, including his doctor and the media, knew he wasn't capable of being president and wasn't. And now, look at what he's done to our country with millions of people coming across our border, totally unchecked and unvetted, many from prisons, mental institutions, and record number of terrorists. We will suffer greatly because of his presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly. Make America great again. So allegedly, he's released an attack ad on Heels Up already. So we'll watch that real quick.
Kamala was in on it. She covered up Joe's obvious mental decline.
Our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done.
But Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look what she got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream dead. They created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Fantastic. Good job, Trump administration. Seeing there's a Kamala Harris statement out. Let me see if I can't find it. There we go. There it is. All right, let's see what this has to say. On behalf of the American people, I thank Joe Biden for his extraordinary leadership as President of the United States and for his decades of service to our country. His remarkable legacy of accomplishment is unmatched in modern American history, surpassing the legacy of many presidents who served 2 terms in office. What's up, Aaron? Busy as shit. There were so many people, but it's a profound honor to serve as the vice president, and I'm deeply grateful to the president, Dr. Biden, and the entire Biden family. I first came to know President Biden through his son, Beau. We were friends from our days working together as attorney general of our home states. As we worked together, Beau would tell me stories about his dad, the kind father and the kind man he was. And the qualities Beau revered in his father are the same qualities, the same values I have seen every day in Joe's leadership as president. His honesty and integrity, his big heart and commitment to his faith and his family, and his love for the country and the American people. With a selfless and patriotic act, President Biden is doing what he's done throughout his life of service, putting American people and the country above everything else. Well, then, why the hell did he? Why did he run? I was honored, or I am honored to have President's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination. Over the past year, I've traveled across this country talking with Americans about the clear choice in this momentous election, and that is what I will continue to do in the days and weeks ahead. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite our nation to defeat Donald Trump and his extreme Project 2025 agenda. We have 107 days until Election Day. Together we will fight, and together we will win. So that is the official statement. The official statement from Heels Up. I mean, former vice president. Current vice president? Hell, I don't even know anymore. Former attorney general of California, Kamala Harris. The whole city of Grand Rapids lined up for the freaking Trump rally. Yeah. So there was on the easy end, there was 100,000 people, either in line out front of the stadium or hanging out in the general area. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen, and I've been a couple times. So that was good to see. So where does this take us now? So I'm unequivocally telling you, Kamala Harris is undoubtedly your nominee for president for the Democratic Party. There's no other option. Like, that's it. Book written, story done, game over. There's just no potential pathway for anybody else at this late in the game. For those of you who are fans of the history repeating itself, the last contested convention was 1968 on the Democrat side. And that was it was also in Chicago. So this year's convention for the Democrats will be in Chicago. So we'll see what happens there. It should be fun to watch. Should be enjoyable if they don't nominate her this week, which I think they're going to. So a word of caution. We obviously know that Joe Biden has significant cognitive decline. We know that he's not fit to run the country. We know that he's not running the country. We know that he is not making day-to-day decisions. He doesn't have a platform. We all these things we know. There's a couple things that I want to caution because I hear a lot of people calling for his resignation. to include the Speaker of the House and several others. Let me propose a different thought to you. I would rather keep Joe right where he's at, and here's why. It's always darkest before the dawn, and I think you have to go through the worst before you can go through the best of times. And right now, undoubtedly, we're in the worst of times. I mean, this guy's leading the country, supposedly. But if Joe steps down, that gives us a couple things. One, when you get to the radical agenda, because Joe is now a lame duck president, he doesn't have an ability to be reelected. He knows that the Democrats have probably come to the realization that they're not going to win in 2024. Not that I think they're just going to roll over and die, but I think that they probably are very well aware that their chances are slim to none of winning in 2024. And what that takes us to is the ability, with the advent of executive orders, with the fact that the congressional caucus is very close, with the fact that they have the lead in the Senate, that brings us to the ability of a party to, by order or by pushing together a traditional law, which they probably won't take that pathway, that they could do some pretty radical shit in the next couple months before November. I mean, they could do some crazy, crazy things. One of the things that saves us is, I believe, that one, you have the reasonableness of when it gets challenged in court, you say the only reason he did this is because he's out, they're going to lose, and they know it. So that's got to come into it, that they're pushing this to, just because they have no other option, they have to do it now, and they wouldn't have done it previously because they didn't do it 2 months ago or a month ago or 5 days ago. The other thing you have is, if there's one thing that Joe Biden's been concerned about and consistently concerned about, is his legacy. He's very concerned about what he passes on. So I don't think that Joe, and when I say Joe, I mean Jill, and the people around him, are going to allow him to do something radical to destroy his legacy. He wants the presidential libraries. He wants the to be remembered, and he doesn't want to jeopardize anything in the waning months of his presidency on something that may advance the Democrats' cause, but may hurt him in the Department of Legacy. If you get a candidate, if he steps down, if he gets 25th, or if he resigns from the White House, you get a lame duck candidate with no chance of winning, truly, truly no political future whatsoever. Because we all know Kamala Harris is never getting more popular. She's never winning a seat in government again. Not even her home state likes her. So you have a person that literally has nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Nothing at all to lose. And then you have the added benefit of, well, Biden couldn't or didn't do it because it wasn't part of his platform, but I'm not doing it just because I only have 3 months left. I'm doing it because, I'm taking over the presidency and this is my policy agenda. So we could see some incredibly radical things going through with a person without consequence that has an excuse for their action and likely would take that action. So I caution everybody to take a victory lap, because I think that Kamala Harris would be the absolute worst thing that could ever happen. Ever. I I think it would be the most damaging to our country. I'm not saying it's a good legacy, Jason. I'm saying that they'll spin it like they have. They'll spin it like they want to. And it's going to be he's concerned about we've heard him mention it 100 times. He's concerned about what's going to happen. So he's concerned about, quote, legacy. Nuclear, that's true. That is very true. YouTube has told me dozens of times. And with their most recent takedown of my Trump shooting video, the Trump assassination, because I perpetuated events that did not happen and spread dangerous disinformation. Allegedly. So that is what we have currently. So I know everybody wants to spike the football, get him out, and be all excited that Biden's gone. But Harris is waiting behind her. Harris is waiting behind him. And she is much, much worse than Joe. I know that's hard to believe, but she is much, much worse, much more dangerous. And then we have to listen to, we have the first black woman president for the next 4 months. So I think it's a dangerous proposition, and I think it's scary if Joe Biden steps down. I hope that he remains in office until January of 2025, when Donald Trump takes over. Putin is going to raise Kamala 100%. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what happened. Obviously, I'm sure you guys all heard already that he is stepping down and kind of where we're at, and the cautions about hoping that Biden leaves the White House. Take the most flack when you're over the target. Exactly, buddy. Exactly. But I am one strike away from losing my channel. So we need to. And let's be clear about this. I'm not going to change anything I say to. All that it's going to mean when YouTube inevitably strikes me before October 7th. Is I'll be exclusively on Rumble, but I will, of course, let you guys know when that happens. But with that being said, I'm going to shuffle all you fine YouTubers, YouTube lovers, or YouTube viewers, over to the great Digger. She's doing her first stream solo today. It's her birthday, so happy birthday, Digger, even though you're probably already over there. Obviously, a good friend of mine does show with me on Tuesdays. So I'm going to end the stream out of respect for her and the respect that I'm out of information. And yeah, go enjoy Digger's birthday stream. And I'll probably jump over there at some point. So thanks as always for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.